What's the word, everyone? It's your host, Joe Realist and Mario, and we want to welcome you to Let's List 'em. Let's List 'em is the show that counts down topics according to a fun and specific category. Also, Let's List 'em is the show that's giving out a free $150 StockX gift card to one of our first 500 Instagram followers, and a free $150 Visa card to one of our first 500 YouTube channel subscribers. Do not miss out on that. Today on Let's List 'em, we will be counting down 7 lies we all grew up believing. We all remember being a kid, or maybe you're a kid right now. And we all remember how naive we were, or maybe you're naive as hell right now. No matter who was telling us bullshit, whether our parents, our friends, or the government, untruthful things just seem to slip through some big young cracks, and we spend years of our lives believing the shit. Not cool, because some of the lies seem to branch off into other sections of our thinking and leaves us walking around ignorant. So let's count them down.
Blinded, trying to find my way. Find my way, find my. When you shine, they try to find shade. Try to find shade, try to find. Be yourself and do your thing. Do your thing, do your thing. Show the world what you will bring. You will bring.
Number 7, cow's milk is good for you. In refrigerators and cafeterias around the world, milk is a big deal. We eat many foods that contain milk, plus we sometimes just enjoy a glass of milk by itself. But here are some facts about milk. Out of all the mammals in the world, humans are the only ones that drink another species' milk. And you remember all the milk can build strong bones shit? Total lie. According to healthline.org, milk intake actually increases the chances of bone fractures in women. And according to the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, milk also raises your chances of developing prostate cancers. If you need more proof, according to a 2020 New York Times article, even companies who have been producing cow milk for almost a century have decided to go into other milk sectors. Milk companies like Elmhurst 1925 of New York City has taken their business to milking other plant-based products like oats, hemp seeds, and walnuts. And with another little bit of sprinkle of proof, here's someone with tons more credibility than me speaking about cow milk.
We don't need it. And it's really absurd to argue that any mammal needs to drink the milk of another species. That's just absurd on its face. Milk is a secretion that female mammals make that is designed to feed their babies. Nature, God, whoever you want to pull into this conversation, never intended that as adults we would be drinking our own milk, let alone the milk of another species.
Number 6, Veblen goods are worth something. So you're probably like, Joe Rillis, what the fuck is a Veblen good? Well, I'm going to read the real definition. A Veblen good is a type of luxury good for which the demand for a good increases as the price increases, in apparent contradiction of the law of demand, resulting in an upward sloping demand curve. So what does that mean? It's something you buy that grows in price as the population of people who believes the product intent is true grows. For example, diamonds, lawyers, high-end alcohol, and even expensive shoes are all Veblen goods. We can all agree that most of the world believes diamonds shows how much a man loves a woman when he asks her to marry him. And we can all agree that most of the population believes getting a lawyer is the way to go about dealing with legal trouble. But in true fact, a diamond is nothing more than a rock found deep in the ground, and a lawyer is someone who took the time to read and learn about the law, just how you can do. These goods and services are really worthless, but due to the fact that most of the globe believes these things have extreme worth, the prices of the goods and services grow to crazy amounts. In truth, the thing people are buying when they buy that $1,400 pair of shoes or $26,000 bottle of wine is a status symbol. Brand manufacturers want their logos and designs to mean something, and it's all the same thing. That the person who purchases or hires this product or service is living their best life. Number 5. The American Civil Rights Movement was only fought in America. Okay, let's say there's a leader of a country. We'll call it Country A. And he usually speaks about equal voting, being the leader of the free world, and how great democracy is as a whole. Then he tells leaders of other countries all around the world how his philosophy is best and will modernize the world, and how they're all best suited to follow these ways. Looks good, right? Nothing bad going on here. Well, let's say in country A, this shit is going on. People are being oppressed, brutally beat for their beliefs and skin color, and evidently everyone does not have a voice. One of those other leaders who doesn't agree with country A's views, we would just call leader of country R, is probably going to call out the leader of country A's bullshit and try to convince every other leader that country A is a liar and a hypocrite. If you've guessed country A to be America and country R to be countries like Russia and North Korea, you are right as shit. In 1932, the USSR invited over 20 black artists from America to Moscow, where they attempted to make a movie about African American suffrage in America. People that were included in this was the famous poet Langston Hughes. The movie was never released, but Hughes wrote about it in his 1934 book titled Negroes Look at Soviet Central Asia. Catchy ass name, right? The book circulated throughout black neighborhoods in New York and resulted in groups being formed like Friends of the Soviet Union, a black Harlem-based group that looked at the Soviets as an ally. Also, North Korea's former leader Kim Il-sung was a huge fan of the Black Panther Party. He said, I quote, "It's a just struggle to abolish the cursed system of racial discrimination of the U.S. imperialists," and sent them a personal telegram. So I'm not saying the works of African American civil rights leaders didn't work. I'm saying they worked so well that African American suffrage started to disrupt some of America's universal goal. America couldn't responsibly spread democracy throughout the world while having examples of their own discrimination plastered on newspapers. So you tell me if that makes more sense than people just all of a sudden becoming fair. Number 4. Standing too close to the TV will make you blind. Now this is something I didn't debunk until my adulthood. Standing too close to the TV does not make you blind. It only makes it harder for the people behind you to see, which is probably where it originated. Amazed children slowly creeping up on the TV to the point to where their parents behind them can't see. So the parent tells the child something that will scare the shit out of them to keep them back. If you stand too close to the TV, you will go blind. According to the Fort Lauderdale Eye Institute, standing too close to the TV is only an indication that you're nearsighted and you may need glasses. It does no damage to your eyes whatsoever. So next time your child is standing too close to the TV, just tell them back that ass up instead of scaring them with lies. Number 3. Stranger danger. Due to impressions from most adults in Hollywood, children grow up believing all crimes towards children are committed by strangers. Hence sayings like never get in a car with a stranger or never take candy from a stranger. Messages like this takes children's minds off creepy ass Uncle Joe or dad's friend that stares too long. It instead keeps the child fixated on identifying an imaginary long trench coat wearing motherfucker that emerges from bushes to snatch children. Over the years, we have seen the terrible effects of this idea and the fucked up shit it has caused. Fortunately, the world is fading away from this harmful bullshit, and for good reason. Number 2. The permanent record. Now, I know we all remember those badass kids from school. The ones that will argue with the teacher, get detention, and suspended all the damn time. We all walked around thinking the whole teacher society had a way of knowing this kid was bad as hell. Like every school passed around these portfolios detailing how terrible a child was. We would think there is no way Lil Puff McSmoke is going to Harvard. He has been suspended 3 times for fighting, and that shit is definitely going on his record. Well, the truth is, unless Puff gets arrested, expelled, or scores poorly on a standardized test, there is no record that would travel with Puff. he can grow up to be one of the most successful students in the school, actually. And this seems to happen a lot. Look at Mark Wahlberg, who was known throughout his town as the 13-year-old with a cocaine problem. Or Marlon Brando, better known as the Godfather, who drove a motorcycle through the halls of his high school and was later expelled for it. As you can see through these examples, there are no permanent records that travel with students. Number 1. Homelessness is a product of that person's choices. There are 567,715 homeless people in the United States, according to the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development in a 2019 study. And due to the U.S.'s growing population, that number is also growing. Many children grow up hearing things that create stigmas about unsheltered people, like I did. Some of those stigma-enforcing statements include, "That's what happens when you do bad in school," or "This is what happens when you spend all your money on drugs." I'm not saying that the lack of education or drug addiction aren't huge causes of homelessness, but there are just as many people that did what society told them to do that ended up homeless as well. According to a study conducted by New York University, only 20 to 40% of unhoused people in New York City are drug addicts, which makes sense when you put yourself in their shoes. Wouldn't you want to be on your P's and Q's if you were constantly outside fending for yourself? As of the time of this recording, the federal minimum wage in this country is $7.25. Fucking $7.25. Shout out to all the people that's making it happen on minimum wage. But I'm going to go with $9.25 for this math problem just to show you that this shit is still a problem. So, $9.25 times 40 hours a week in a work week. $370 a week before taxes. So let's say they take $60 for taxes. That's $310. You got to put something away for rent. Let's say you pay $400 a month for a studio apartment, or maybe you got a roommate. That's $310 minus $100. Leaves you $210. You got to eat. Let's call that $75. $210 minus 75 equals $135. Gas bill, phone bills, household essentials will murder that $135. And that person's mental state. Poverty is a disease, and like any other disease, no one chooses to have it or be a part of it. Let's be real here. I don't have to go through this whole damn math problem for you to get this. Even people who do the right thing can end up without shelter and nowhere to go. It can happen to anyone. So that's why I say donate. Here's a list of 4 of our country's leading nonprofits that fight homelessness. And remember, this can happen to anyone. So I hope you enjoyed the episode of Let's List Them. Here is all my social media contact. Say what up, ask a question, maybe request an episode for me to complete. This has been your host, Joe Rillis and Mario, and we thank you for watching. Hit that like and subscribe if you enjoyed this. And remember, be cool, be calm, and be there for somebody. We out.